Weather is brought to you by your locally owned Midas of Eastern Ontario, with lifetime guarantees on brakes, suspension, exhaust, and now on tires. Come and experience the Midas difference.
Wow, aren't we glad to get that wet mess out of the way, that icy mess for a lot of us north of Kingston, away from Lake Ontario, and to the east it was more of a freezing rain issue. All of that moving out of the way now. Cloudy and mild conditions for tonight and tomorrow. Flurries for Sundays. It could be periods of snow. You might actually see a few centimeters in some areas. Still mild conditions though, so it's wet flurries. It could be mixed with a shower at times, especially closer to the lake. Cloudy and mild for Monday. Mild with mixed precipitation Tuesday. We're not seeing those temperatures drop very much. They drop a little as we start to see some clearing on Wednesday, but not a whole lot. Those temperatures, they take a wee dip, but we thought that we were going to see them really drop and then bounce back, but not the case. 1 was the daytime high in Kingston, Brockville, Smiths Falls, Ottawa. This is really interesting here. And then everybody to the left, to the west, 4. So there's almost this dividing line. You can see where the air masses are sort of changing over now, and it's all going to be fairly mild. That push from the south still there, and because of that, even though that ridge of high pressure is moving in, it's not taking over completely. You're not going to see a whole lot of clearing, and that milder air from the south is still somewhat present as the two air masses mix. Northerly winds at about 13 kilometers at the top of the hour, sitting at a +1. And mostly cloudy conditions. We're going to see that remain that way for a while. 17 millimeters of rain in the Kingston area. Now that may have been a little more freezing rain for those areas away from Kingston. And we've gained about 3 more minutes of daylight as well in the last 24 hours. Low pressure, there it is, that messy one moving away. High pressure moving in, but as it does, we don't see most, typically speaking of a high pressure system, it'll clear things up. Give you lots of blue sky and sunshine. You're not going to see that. The highs were rather weak. We're seeing another low come in and try to replace the last one very quickly. Because of that, the cloud stays with us. You might get some breaks in it, and you're not going to see a big shift in temperature. We don't give those areas of high pressure, that ridge out of the north, a chance to settle in and bring the cooler air. But that said, as this low continues to track more easterly than northerly and become more of an issue for Atlantic Canada, we get grazed by the northeast corner, a cooler portion of this low pressure system. And so we're going to see not rain this time around. On Sunday, it'll likely be periods of snow, but it'll be a wet snow. It's not going to be super cold. So cloudy conditions for now, and it really doesn't do much of anything. There's a few breaks in the cloud here and there, but it isn't until we roll into Sunday that we see any kind of active weather conditions. Probably around the lunch hour, start to see a light flurry, and then through the afternoon, maybe a centimeter or 2, but by the evening, it starts to move out again, and you're not really going to see a lot of snow as a result of this. Belleville high 2 tomorrow, cloudy skies for Sunday up to 2 degrees, and yes, there is that 70% chance of some flurries. Wet flurries could be mixed with a shower, and there's even a risk of freezing rain if the precipitation should persist as temperatures drop in the evening. But as I said, it does look as if it's going to be pulling out rather quickly early evening, so the risk of freezing rain is minor. Monday, it's high 1, cloudy with some sunny periods. Brockville rising to 2 degrees tomorrow, cloudy. Sunday, cloudy, high 1. Up to 0 on Monday, and cloudy. You're not going to see that precipitation. It sort of hangs to the south and to the east, and areas in like Brockville and Smiths Falls, you really don't see a whole lot of active weather as a result of this system. It's not pushing far enough your way. Smiths Falls, high 2, and cloudy tomorrow. Cloudy with maybe even a sunny period. There is a small probability of a flurry, just a little backwash from that system that's heading to the east, but it's very minor, like 20–30%. Monday, 0 and cloudy. Kingston, your forecast, a high of 2, cloudy skies. For Sunday, up to 1, and yes, a pretty good chance of some wet flurries mixed with showers and a small risk of freezing rain. Monday, a high 1 and cloudy, -1. Tuesday, so temperatures dip a bit, but not much. We thought they would have dropped considerably on Tuesday. We're not seeing that. Temperatures are, going to be back into the plus zone, but just barely over Wednesday, Thursday, and a 0 on Friday. And we've got a little bit of sunshine Wednesday, but cloud cover takes over again Thursday. And for Friday, maybe some sunny periods, but still on the mostly cloudy side. Now your weather wallpaper.
Weather Wallpaper is brought to you by Christine Geary's Maple Leaf Tours Travel Cruise. Visit mapleleaftours.com to get into the picture.
Kimberly Dixon of Kingston sends a couple photos in, out walking a dog, and saw these lovely icicles and managed to catch a drip of water falling from the icicle. Here's another shot. Love this. Great pictures. Thank you, Kimberly, for sharing. If you've got photos to share with us, please send them to us at submissions@ckwstv.com. I'm thirsty.
Okay.
Did you do that as a kid? Did you eat icicles? Did you? They warn you about it today. They say you really shouldn't do that. Catching snowflakes.
I probably did all kinds of things when I was younger.
Yeah.
Some of them I remember, and some of them I don't want to remember. Anyway, big melt is underway then, Bill. Certainly with the rain overnight and all that ice from a day or so ago, the freezing rain, a lot of it is now melting, and the snow pack that we've had is starting to recede as well because of these mild temps.
Yeah, mild temperatures and rain washing it all away. For those who didn't shovel or push it out of the way, Mother Nature's taken care of it for you, and and will continue to do so. It does look as if these milder temperatures will persist, even though the rain isn't there to beat it down, getting above freezing over the next couple days. So.
Yeah, it's like what happened to the polar vortex. Not that I'm asking for it, but it's just like it's
don't
gone.
worry. It could rear its ugly head once again.
Right. So not a whole lot of sun, Bill, in that forecast, but at least a break from the active weather, and I think everyone will appreciate
Not
that.
the brightest and shiniest forecast, but certainly uneventful.
Okay, we'll find out the next 10 days how they're shaping up in your outlook a little bit later. Thank you, Bill. Well, we're turning a corner, at least a month. February is more in the 10-day outlook, Bill, and what can we expect for that?
Well, I don't see anything hugely eventful. Our temperatures fluctuate slightly. We all seem to be hovering around the freezing mark. If I was to pick a median temperature, I'd have to say 0. 2 tomorrow with cloudy skies. We're done with the rain for a while. For Sunday and Monday, highs of 1. We do see some wet flurries moving in for Sunday. Could be a very small risk of freezing rain with that, mixed with a shower, of course. It does cool down Tuesday, but only with a daytime high of -2. Cloudy skies. Mix of sun and cloud Wednesday with a high 0. We're back up to a +1 Thursday. Cloudy skies, mostly cloudy over Friday and Saturday as we see temperatures sliding again. -1 for highs over Saturday and Sunday of next week with mostly cloudy conditions. And for Monday of next week, a high 0 and a mix of sun and clouds. So not a whole lot going on. Nice to get a break from the precipitation. And it looks like those temperatures are going to remain above normal. Even if just barely, like on Tuesday with that -2. The seasonal norm is a -3 for daytime high.
Good, too, that the temperatures haven't gone down so drastically that all this melt and runoff has turned to ice, because that would be a problem, I think.
The city would be one big rink.
Yeah, it's going to continue melting then by the looks of it, Bill, if we get these mild days. And maybe a few sunny, I see a few sunny breaks in your long-range outlook, and I think a lot of people would appreciate that as well. But it's not quite mild enough to melt the artificial rinks, right? It looks like they can still...
Yeah, at these temperatures, you get the refrigeration assistance on the downtown rink. It should be okay. It's the other ones in the parks that are probably not going to, they're not going to be very good for skating.
I see. We'll be right back.
Your long-range weather. You're watching CKWS News at 11.
Well, those messy systems that brought us all that freezing rain and then rain to follow, now gone, out of the way. We're getting into some high pressure, not very strong high, even though it's almost right over us. It's not a very strong one, and so we're still seeing a bit of cloud, and we're not seeing we're seeing a break from precipitation until Sunday. Things have calmed down a little bit, but the cooler air that's dropping in, thanks to those highs, is mixing with this low, and so we're going to be in the cooler sector of this low. As it becomes more of a weather event for Atlantic Canada, we sort of get that top northeast corner and some snow, flurries and periods of snow for Sunday. You might see a few centimeters, but it moves through quickly. It shouldn't stick around very long. Belleville, a high 2 and cloudy tomorrow. For Sunday, it's up to 2 again, and yes, 70% chance of some wet flurries. It's going to rise to 2 degrees, so you could see that mixed with showers. There's even a risk of some freezing rain. Monday, a high 1, cloudy with sunny periods. Brockville up to 2 degrees tomorrow, cloudy skies, cloudy Sunday 2 with a high 1, and Monday cloudy with a high of 0. So temperatures still on the mild side. Probability precipitation not a big deal in other areas through Brockville and Smiths Falls. You can see, in fact, you might actually get a sunny period on Sunday with a high 1. Saturday it's 2 for a high and cloudy, and Monday cloudy with a high of 0. Temperatures do drop, though, as we roll into Tuesday, but not much. We thought things were going to bottom out and see like a high of -6, but that's not the case because there's not going to be much of a break or a push out of the north with cooler air. Those temperatures continue to remain above normal, though they may dip a little Tuesday. Highs of 1 over Wednesday and Thursday as the mostly cloudy conditions continue. We do have the wet flurries mixed with showers Sunday, but by Wednesday it's just a mix of sun and cloud. Cloudy Thursday with a high 1, and we rise to 0 on Friday, cloudy with sunny periods.